Those who know better, they will tell you that balance is the key element for every success, of which means what happens on the left needs to be known on the right. What happens on the right needs to be known on the left. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot talk about Ubuntu and not talk about the essence of Africanism. So, no matter what you can do, no matter what you can say, you cannot destroy and you cannot talk down and look down upon Africa or Africanism, because Africa is a beautiful continent. Africa and Africanism is a beautiful thing. It's who we are as, and it's what we pride ourselves as Africans. Igama lami uSizwe wakamkhize, aka Khabavovo Velehle Picture Kupela. Welcome to a short episode of the Essence of Africanism, as we are about and preparing to celebrate the big month of September, Inyanga Yamagugu, as we pride ourselves as Africans, as who we are in terms of showing off our cultures, showing off our talents, showing off our traits, and everything that we do. Stay with us. We'll be right back. They say charity begins at home. They say if you want to fix the world, you need to start by fixing yourself. Therefore, as we're talking about the essence of Africanism, we need to start by looking at ourselves as Africans in terms of reconnecting with ourselves and realizing who we are, and realizing the special ubuntu bethu, and realizing ukuthi sibaluleke kangakanani, and realizing ukuthi I see Okhabavovo, they are with us as well. That's Zimbabwe Zimhlophe, as we're talking about Africanism, because that is also what we've forgotten as Africans. So we need to look back in terms within ourselves, in terms of who we are, and pride ourselves in terms of who we are, because the sin, the biggest sin and the biggest crime that we have done is we have allowed our love and our affliction and our attraction for the things and the cultures of outside our beautiful continent, of which is Africa, to confuse us in terms of blind us in terms of not realizing and making us to disconnect from who we are as Africans. So it is very important to, before we start blaming the European what you call cultures and the European system that have came to Africa, we need to start by blaming ourselves, that there is nothing wrong with loving other things. But however, if you love something, the love that you have for that thing shouldn't destroy the love that you already have for who you are and what you have. I mean, whatever things that we love from the European, what you call countries and all those things, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying stop loving those things. What I'm saying, as we're talking about the essence of Africanism, is that we should not let those things disconnect us. We should not let those things make us, shy away from our cultures, our roots, and our belief system as who we are as Africans. It should not confuse us and even, bring us to a stage where we feel like we are not human enough, or we are not perfect, or we're not full as Africans. So ubuntu bethu bubalulekile, ubuntu bethu as Africans, we need to pride ourselves. So as we going to September, the month of Amagugu, the Heritage Month, the last Pride corner with our cultures and all those things, we need to look back and as individuals, as Africans, and start asking ourselves ukuthi silahle kuphi, ilahleke kuphi lento, ngoba khona la ilahleke khona. Once we realize ukuthi silahle kuphi, then we'll be able to fix it, and we'll be able to go back and say, let us fix this, let us correct this, and make sure ukuthi everything goes well. Because na into enhluphayo is that the generation that we live in now, if doesn't stand up and fix the damage that have been done, because the damage is quite big in terms of that have affected this essence of Africanism. So our kids and our grandchildren, I don't think they will be able to wake up at their generation and fix what have been broken. But no matter the damage is there, I still believe and strongly feel that we, this generation, with the knowledge and the roots that we still have, we can still make a change and we can still fix things in this essence of Africanism. Now and again, we talk about meeting and having a boardroom. But the meeting that we need to have is the meeting of Africanism, essence of Africanism. As Africans, as we are about to celebrate the great month of September, where we pride ourselves as Africans in terms of who we are, where we come from, we need to take a moment and sit down and reflect back and look at, is what we're doing, is what we're living, is how we're living, the way to live, is how we want to show off and to teach and train our kids to take this through. Because asipheleli la njengama-Africans, njengoba ngila kunozalo siyazala, kunezingane esizikhulisayo. These kids are going to grow to represent Africanism. So what are we teaching them? I think in this month of September, let us sit down in the boardroom or wherever, in the garden, wherever it is that can be, let us sit down and discuss deeper and go deeper with this essence of Africanism and bring back who we are, because I don't think the way that we do things is exactly how we were meant to be, and is exactly what our forefathers and our ancestors would like us to be. Stay with us. We're going to wrap up in a short moment this essence of Africanism. I am Sizo Kamkize. Stay with me. This is Kabavo YouTube channel. We'll be right back. As we're wrapping up this short episode of Essence of Africanism, I want to highlight a few aspects that we need to look at as Africans, and in terms of restoring and recovering what we've lost as what you call Africans, as we're talking about the essence of Africanism. Uma ngathi uyabheka isikhathi esiningi, the most problems that we're facing in our African countries, in this beautiful continent called Africa, we're facing a high rate of crime. We're facing a high rate of rape. We're facing a high rate of unemployment. We're facing a high rate of ukubulalana and the killings that are happening. We're facing a lot of quarrels within the belief systems and the religions that are being created. And if you sit down, like I said earlier on, that we need to sit down on the boardroom and discuss these things and drill it down and fix it and correct it, you'll realize that all these things are the production or zingane nenzalo of the fact that we have lost the spirit and the essence of Africanism. Because if uhlala phansi nogogo, thatha ugogo omdala or umkhulu omdala wangakini that is old, that have a knowledge, a rich knowledge of how they used to live before, you will understand ukuthi the roots and the teachings and the things and the ways that they used to live before, the lifestyle of the olden days. Bezingekho zonke lezi zinto. These things have happened because we have shied away, and then we ran away and disconnected from the system, from the teachings, the simple, solid teachings that okhokho bethu abasifundisa ngazo. Inhlonipho, for example, That is because if you look at inhlonipho, you will understand ukuthi. If you really understand inhlonipho, if you really understand self-discipline, I mean, uqala ngokuzihlonipha wena njengomuntu and bese uhlonipha omakhelwane bakho, uhlonipha abantu abadala. These days you hear stories, sad stories like ukuthi udlwengule ugogo ona 85 or ona 92 or something like that. How do you do that? How does that happen? You understand? So lobulwane esesingene futhi neyilwane siyasukela because being in the wild, I've got to learn and understand how animals behave. They actually don't even behave the way that some of people behave. But zonke lezo zinto ziyinzalo yokuthi silahle umsuka wethu. Sibe attracted too much. We fell in love and we're so attracted and we adapted to these European systems. Ngendlela yokuthi sakhohlwa ukuthi what we were taught and how we were raised, that was the correct way of doing things. And the purpose of this essence of Africanism is to say, let us remember who we are, let us remember where we come from. The belief system, I mean, you're hearing things like people talking about ancestors as demons and all those things. I'm who I am because of my parents. I'm who I am because of my grandmother. My health system is high because ngakhathwa ngakhuliswa ogogo. So things like that. And then you hear people, black African people, talking about, acknowledging. By the way, we don't worship ancestors, we acknowledge them. Talking about ancestors, talking about, Ubuntu Betu, and things like that. And they say what that is what you call demonic and things like that because of what we have lost who we are. We have lost the teachings. Things like medicine, umuthi, umusebenzisa umuthi njengoba sisehlathini le yabona zonke le ihlahla lezi meaning imithi ela ongayikha ephilisayo uyithatha uyixube namanzi uyiphuze. Yes, I know ukuthi khona abasebenzisa imithi ngendlela wrong ngobuthakathi nazo zonke lezo zinto. But however, umuthi wesintu, it's part of the things esiphila ngazo and esingaphila ngazo, because when I actually sat with what you call a pharmacist, say those white pharmaceutical places, esho ukuthi nale mithi lesiyiphuzayo sithenge epharmacy iqala kanje, bayithatha lapha bayimixe, iqala njengemithi yesintu bese beyifaka ushukela bayidilute benzeni ukuthi izwakale ngathi sweet or something like that. But what I'm saying is these are all the things. Africa is rich. We've got all the resources. We've got everything. The issue of unemployment, the issue of poverty. I mean, we're looking for the land. We're saying bring back the land. But what are we going to do with the land? Yes, we want the land. I do want the land as well. But what are we going to do with that land if we don't know how to cultivate the land? These are the things that we need to go back into learning. How many people are doing agriculture? How many people are teaching their kids to do agriculture? I mean, most of us siney'ngadi, sinamagceke amakhulu emakhaya, but awukwazi utshalile ngisho banana or ama-aphula or ama-orange or tamatisi, those things, such things like tomatoes, apples, tomatoes, what you call potatoes, and onions. These are the things, cabbage, these are the things that you should be taking from your backyard and izinto kanjalo. Utshala ummbila, ugaya ummbila wenze impuphu. So we shouldn't be starving and we shouldn't have poverty like we're having these days. So bafethu, without any waste of time, that was the short or the episode of Essence of Africanism, to say, let us look back and go back and realize who we are. Mostly this is directed to us as Africans. Motswana, Muzulu, Muxhosa, Motsonga, and all those things. And another thing is, let us stop this xenophobic treatment of each other. We are cousins. People from Botswana, they are my cousin. People from Tanzania, they are my cousins. They are my African. People from Nigeria, we are one. Our oneness is what makes us beautiful. Our oneness is what makes us strong as Africans. So we cannot bring back Africa. We cannot bring back and elevate and revive the essence of Africanism if we are divided. So let us come back one as one and stop ukucwasana nokudelelana sibizane ngamagama amagregamba amakwerekwere ini. Let's stop that. Let us remember that we are brothers and sisters and we are Africans. Phakama mu-Afrika, phakama uvuke uqine mu-Afrika. Makudede bomnyama kuvele ukhanya. Ngikufisela okuhle kodwa engathi uSimakade wezulu angagcina akuphumelelise akwenze kahle. Sibuvuse ubu-Afrika bethu kungabi uSeptember kuphela kodwa kube yinto yensuku zonke and senze into e-right nezowenza ukuthi sikhule siye phambili. Phakama mu-Afrika. Sizwe Mkhize here, signing out. Thank you for tuning in. Do subscribe, do share this, and do like as well. Let us grow together, Ma Africa. Salute, peace, I'm out.